30, 40 quid. Mike's got his tunes on, very excited about. That's Mike's wise words for the week. So it is an auction update video, and I'll tell you why the 695 is in the workshop in bits. Anyway, that's for later on. Let's go around and show you all of the different machines that sold and didn't sell, and ones that made money on, ones that we broke even on, and yeah, and we'll even say hello to Mike. Right, let's go and have a look at some of the smaller stuff, and then we'll get back to the tractors and the bigger stuff in a bit. So first up is the little Suzuki 80 quad, which actually belongs to Max and Molly, my children. And they have had many years on this. 7 years? 7 years? Yeah, no, 6 years. 6 years we've had this bike, and it has been absolutely brilliant. They've loved it. Get on really well, probably one of the best children's quad bikes that you could ever wish for. Still 2-stroke, still nice and easy, simple little machine, but absolutely brilliant. Now back then, I think I paid something along the lines of probably 450 quid for it. And it was cheap. It was through another dealer friend of mine, and done a good deal, bought a few bits and pieces off him at the time. And it just sold in the Stag's auction. The reserve was 900. It made £900 in literally the first 2 days. And then come the end of the auction, it jumped to 1100 quid. So I'm very happy with that. And Max and Molly will be, well, we said it would go towards Molly's pony for her side of things, and Max, it will go towards his sheep and stuff and bits and pieces. So it's not being wasted, and it's going back into what the kids want to do. So, right, another machine somewhere. All right, while I'm down this side, we'll have a look at the logs now. In the video where I showed you everything that's going into the Stag's online auction, there were some logs, there were some crates up here, but all the logs have already been collected, which is great. Now there's 4 crates, there's 2 crates of hardwood, 1 of softwood and 1 of just offcuts. The 2 hardwood crates made 55 quid each, and the softwood one made 50 quid, which is very good. And the lightings, the offcuts made £5. Very lucky man, but luckily it was a guy who bought the hardwood, bought the lightings. So I was fine with that, that's not a problem. And the dumpy bag of ash made 25 quid, but that was the guy who bought the softwood, which paid 50 quid for that. Anyway, it all evened itself out pretty well. I was quite happy in the end. The Castell Garden ride-on, which there is no deck on it, and there's a beautiful Honda engine in the front of it, V-twin Honda engine. But I was expecting it to make 30, 40 quid just to get rid of it. It made £150, so well happy with that. And the Viking, which has already been picked up, which you would have seen about there somewhere, that has sold, and that sold for £180. So I'd like that to have gone a little bit more, but anyway, the two even themselves out, so that's fine. The only thing that was wrong with the Viking was the automatic decompressor in the engine had failed and needed replacing, so strip engine down, replace the cam in it, which has got the automatic decompressor in, and bang on, someone has got a pretty good ride on there, to be fair. And find another machine. Is it me, or am I talking really fast today? Mike's got his tunes on. Yeah. He's well excited about this. Now, if you've seen our Instagram, which is Find It Fix It Farmer as well, you'll have seen that we've got the Dung Spreader behind the 135. Now Mike has done a superb job on this Dung Spreader, and this is coming up for sale. New brake pipe, everything's brakes, hydraulics have all been tested, that's all fine. New PTO guard. Mike's even painted the hitch yellow so you can see it when you're hitching up. What a diamond. Replacement chains and flails up through there that have been required. New lights on the back. Look at that. Just needs a Richard job now to get rid of some of this stuff, and then it's for sale. Oh, Mike has also done some patches there where the lid joins on, just to make sure that's done. And there is a couple down the bottom there as well. Only minor ones, but we thought we'd do them. So it's a solid Dung Spreader, Fleming, 5 ton, 5 cube even. There, that'll be for sale in a minute if anyone's interested. I hope I'm making sense. I just feel a bit waffly. Skid steer loader. Now, you've seen 2 videos on it. We didn't do loads to it, other than I think the only thing we paid for is a new battery. Otherwise, it's just time freeing everything up on it, which is about a day's work, so not out of the way. But we sold it. It sold for £1,800, which is roughly where I thought it would be. That was a reserve, and no, sorry, the reserve is 1,500. It went to 1,800. Good. I was hoping it'd make 2, but it didn't. So yeah, broke even on that one. I've Williams livestock trailer, 8 foot with decks. Beautiful little trailer, all been fully serviced and gone through the workshop. Now I paid £1,800 for it and it sold for £2,700. So I'd say probably about £400 profit in that, which is good. We need that at the moment. Now this didn't sell, which is a blade which goes under a compact tractor or can be adapted to other things. Snow blade or grading blade on the front. Underslung bracket there as well, all the hydraulics and everything. That didn't sell, which is pretty much my fault because I took the pictures, just took them in here in the dark. We should have got it outside and done some proper pictures of it, which we will do for the next one. So that's coming. Sweeper, Wessex sweeper, that has sold for £55. I made a loss of 25 quid, I think. Anyway, on and gone. Also something that's sold is the Polaris 6x6, which we done a video on last week, was it? That Mike got sorted, advertised it privately, sold within a day of listing it. Didn't make a massive amount of money on it, probably about £1,000 in total. Should have been more, should have sold it for more, but we bought it reasonably well and we've sold it reasonably well and it sold in a day. So yeah, happy with that, very happy. But now it leads me on to my saddest sale, which is the agri buggy. Something I didn't want to sell, something I bought for a project for ourselves to be able to do in our own time when we got time. But there's something bigger coming to this channel and us as a business, I suppose you'd call it. And we'll be revealing that information very, very soon, which I'm very excited about and very excited to share with you guys. As we said the other day, we're doing Instagram now, where I'm doing some of it, Suzanne's doing sort of daily stuff as well. There will be stuff we've got for sale on there. So if you want to see more regular stuff that we're putting up for sale, then that will be on Instagram as well and let you know when it's sold. So it'll be like, yay, sold it. Or, oh no, haven't sold it, whatever it might be. So yeah, agri buggy, bought for 1,700 or 1,650, something like that, privately. And I have sold it for 2,500. It made its reserve. I was hoping it would sell more, better than that, but that sort of broke even. But the good news is that someone who watches our videos and follows us on TikTok as well, on Machinery Nation channel, is the person who's bought it. So he's coming down hopefully next week to pick it up. So always exciting to sell something to someone who watches what we do. And they also know everything about it because obviously we're open and honest on here about it, whereas obviously some people, or most people who buy stuff from us, don't actually know what we do on here. So yeah, quite happy and quite looking forward to that. I think it's time for some tractors. Nearly forgot the digger. Now the digger was in the auction. It didn't sell. I sort of half expected it not to sell. I put a strong reserve on it because it's a blooming good digger. I've struggled to find another one for the money that is that good. It's a Takuchi. I trust it. I like it. It does everything we want to do. Until we've done our bigger stuff, I'm not going to give it away. Perhaps once we've completed that and it starts sort of sitting there doing nothing, then that might be a different story. But if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that it's had brand new Camso tracks on it. Yeah, the best tracks you can possibly get. It's had a full service. Mike's gone right the way through it. And, well, it's just a bloomin' good digger. Yes, it's got its age against it a little bit, but if anyone was coming to see it and to buy it, they would be like, yeah, love it, really, really like it. So if someone wants a good digger, but is willing to pay what it's worth, then it is for sale. But it shan't be being given away. So yeah, right, now tractors. Massey 35 4-cylinder has sold. Didn't expect it to sell, but I'm very happy it has, because it has been a garden ornament since we bought it. Now, if you remember rightly, it lived in the plant trailer for about 4 months before we actually took it out because I needed the plant trailer. And then it rolled off the plant trailer and it stayed there. Now, I bought that in a stag sale 8 months ago for £700, I think. And it's just sold for £850. So it's paid for us going to pick it up and bringing it here and sitting there looking nice. It's been in the back of a few videos, so use it for a bit of content, but other than that, broke even, so happy. Right, Ford 5610 and then the case 695. Considering the BBC told me this morning that it is going to be hurricane winds, and I think the fault with their system stated something like the wind was going to be 17,000 miles an hour. Here's a screenshot of what the weather forecast was telling me this morning. I was like, what is going on there? Anyway, 5610. The beautiful Ford 5610, which I absolutely love. Now, I think I put a reserve of 6,500 on that to sell it. Now, I paid 5 for it, and we've done quite a bit of work, so that had been breaking even. And I'll be honest, it didn't make anywhere near the reserve, and it didn't make anywhere near what I paid for it. So either we listed it wrong, or we took the pictures wrong, or something wasn't quite right. There just wasn't the right buyers on that auction, and hence why we put reserves on stuff. You can't risk it all. Now, that tractor is going to be worth it all day long. But as it hasn't sold, I thought, do you know what happens when you don't sell something and you poured a load of money into it? Do you know what, James? Let's chuck a load more money at it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to paint the roof. We're going to sort that out. Well, not just paint it, but we're going to sympathetic restore the roof, and we're going to paint the engine, and we're going to paint the front axle, and we're going to paint the rear in here as well, and make it look proper pretty, because as you know, we'd have done everything on there mechanically. It's perfect, brilliant, just cannot fault it now. And it just needs that final little detail, I think, to make it go pop. Well, that's my plan. Probably won't make any more money out of it, but sounds like fun. I just found Mike blowing up his gloves in here. Now, some of you might have seen Mike last night, actually, if you'd looked out your bedroom windows, because when I told him about my plans with the Case 695, he went to jump over the moon. Now,
Cliff was more like, I think.
Cliff. The 695 is in the workshop because in the auction, it didn't make a reserve, and it was quite a long way away from the reserve. And as I said before, being honest in that auction to say that yes, it's missing second gear, but also that the water pump was leaking, which Mike had preempted in a very great video. If you haven't seen that, I might link it at the end of this one. Now, Mike has now stripped out the whole front because we thought, well, let's make it a bit more sellable. What have we done, Michael? You tell all these lovely, wonderful people.
Well, being an older machine, as you undo things, they tend to snap off and break and just give you general grief. Previous owners have done a bit of tidying, and they've plasma cut out a couple of fairly hefty side sheets there, but they was only out in with a couple of bits of wood jammed in the side. So I'm just trying to pick up and drill some more holes and fit some bolts in there so they'll load it in there and make it look a little bit more presentable.
Stripped it right back, so that's where the water pump sits right there then, Mike,
that's
is it?
Yeah. Got the very thing over here.
We got the very thing. The one water pump.
The leaky hole.
Oh, there she is. Yeah. Now, we had some good news though, didn't we? Because our friends at Cramp do that very water pump, well, supposedly do that very water pump for 60-something quid.
I hope that it didn't exactly the same, because I don't want it to be leaking.
It's true.
Put it all back together and he still leaks. Oh, yeah, but he wanted the same water pump.
Oh, Monday morning or Friday afternoon, wasn't it? Start the week or end the week exactly that way. So, that is the 695 in a few more bits. And as I'm probably not making a great deal of sense today in the rest of the video, which I don't think I am, but apologies if I'm not. So, because it didn't sell, I thought, well, do you know what? Let's sort of take some of those negatives away from someone buying this and do what we can to this tractor to make it usable again. We probably won't be doing second gear, but time will tell. So that's what's going on with the 695. Any wise words for the end of the week then, Michael?
Weekend's coming up, so the only things I can probably come up with would be, if you can't be good, be careful, and if you can't be careful, don't get caught.
That's Mike's wise words for the week. There we are, auction results all done, and yeah, not made the results I was hoping to. Stuff didn't sell that I wanted it to. But the good news is I have machines coming from 4 different auctions over the next fortnight. Now, I've got machines coming from Leeds, I've got machines coming from Shropshire, and I've got machines coming from Bristol. So there's lots of stuff coming, and like I said, that big news as well. Don't forget, check us out on Instagram, and if you're not already subscribed, please help us out, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheerio, bye.